This is the Coleman Sundome Dark Room 6-person tent, and my honest take is coming from real trips where I slept in it, set it up solo, took it down in the dark, and rode out both clear nights and ugly storms. In this video, I'm sticking to what mattered most to me in the field and what I wish I'd known before buying. Key features that drew me in were the dark room fabric that blocks 90% of sunlight, the classic 10 by 10 foot floor, the 6-foot center height, and the promise of quick setup. In my opinion, the headline is simple. It nails sleep-friendly darkness and easy pitching. But it's not a confident storm tent without some prep. The shape is a standard dome with 2 main poles crossing in an X, and a short third pole that props up little awnings over the door and rear window. The fabric is a darker, heavier polyester that really does black out the interior. The floor is a bathtub style. Think of the bottom wrapping up the sides so water on the ground can't just run in. Made from a thick, tarp-like material that feels tough underfoot. The mesh is generous up top, so with the fly-off, you get huge sky views and great airflow. The rainfly is partial coverage, meaning it doesn't go all the way down the sides. It covers the roof and makes those small awnings, but leaves the lower walls exposed. Zippers are smooth enough, and the carry bag is the expandable type with a rip strip, which sounds silly until you're trying to stuff a damp tent in at the end of a trip. The poles are fiberglass, which keeps the price down and setup simple, but isn't as strong as aluminum when wind starts kicking. From my experience, the overall footprint feels roomy for a dome. I can stand up straight in the center at 5 feet 10 inches, but as soon as I step out of that middle circle, my head hits the slope. 2 queen air beds fit, though you won't have much floor space left for bags. Realistically, I treat it as a tent for 3 or 4 adults with gear or a family with kids and a dog. The E-port is handy for running a cord inside, and there are a couple of small mesh pockets and a lantern loop. Storage is minimal. I ended up using a soft bin to keep small stuff from scattering. Setup has been consistently quick for me. I've done it solo in about 10 to 12 minutes without rushing. The sleeves are straightforward, corner pins are easy to seat, and clipping the body up goes fast. Staking and guying make a big difference. On calm weekends, I barely needed guy lines. On windy ones, skipping them would have been a mistake. The dark room tech works, full stop. Midday looks like early dawn inside. I've had to use a headlamp to find socks at noon. Mornings don't blast me awake, and afternoon naps actually happen. It also trims the harsh solar heat when the sun is beating down. With the fly-off, the mesh and the ground vent breathe well, and it stays surprisingly comfortable for a blacked-out tent. Where things get complicated is wet, warm weather. Quick terms for anyone new. The rainfly is the outer cover that sheds rain. Inverted seams means the stitching sits on the inside to reduce direct water exposure. Tape seams have a seal over the stitching to block water. On this tent, the fly seams are taped, but the tent body seams are not. In light rain or short bursts, I stayed dry. I've sat through a half hour of steady rain and felt confident. In a long, wind-driven storm, I got leaks at the corners and along the lower wall seams where the fly ends and the fabric gets hammered. Water ran off the fly, hit the exposed wall, and eventually found those seams. I ended up dabbing seam sealer on the body seams and hitting the corners, and that cut the problem way down on the next trip. A small tarp pitched above the fly also helped in prolonged rain by moving the drip line further out. Ventilation swings with the conditions. Fly off, airflow is excellent and the tent feels airy. Fly on in warm, humid rain and it can turn stuffy. The darker fabric and the close-up fly hold heat and humidity. I woke up clammy on a July thunderstorm night even though I stayed mostly dry after sealing. Cool evenings are fine, but hot and wet is where it gets uncomfortable. Wind is the other point I have to be straight about. I've seen fiberglass poles handle breezes just fine, then struggle with sharp gusts. On one trip, a stiff gust around the low 20s split a pole segment. I splinted it with a repair sleeve and tape and finished the weekend. But it made me pack extra sleeves and tape every time after. Fully staked corners and all guy lines taut to the fly's anchor points helped stability a lot, but I'm still conscious of the pole limits. If the forecast calls for big wind, I choose a sheltered site or a different tent. As always, keep your notes ready. From my experience, the sleep quality is the best part. The dark room fabric genuinely changes how a bright campsite feels. I don't get jolted awake at sunrise, and I can get the kids down earlier without the tent glowing like a lantern. It's also cooler under direct sun than a typical light fabric dome, which matters on open campsites with no shade. The fast setup fits my style. I pull in late. I can be pitched and eating in under 15 minutes. The 10 by 10 floor makes planning easy. I know I can fit 2 queens if I need to, or a queen plus totes and a dog bed with room to move. The floor material has taken abuse. Grit, pine needles, a stray rock under the corner, without a puncture. And the E-port is a nice little touch when I'm running a fan. For fair weather, airflow is actually lovely with the fly-off, and stargazing through the mesh is a treat. In my opinion, the value is strong if you understand the limits. This is an affordable, comfort-first car camping shelter. I do wish for a full coverage fly and factory-taped body seams. That alone would fix most of the "it leaked in a storm" stories, mine included. More pockets and a small vestibule would also help. I ended up keeping shoes and muddy gear in a bin just outside the door to avoid tracking grit inside. And if Coleman ever moves this design to sturdier poles, it would boost confidence for blustery nights. It's perfect for car campers who want real darkness and easy setup, families with kids who nap or go down early, and festival weekends where sleeping past sunrise is the difference between feeling human or not. From my experience, it shines in dry or lightly breezy conditions and clear, hot days. I'd recommend this for groups of 3 to 4 with gear who prioritize sleep and simplicity over stormproofing. If you often camp in windy ridges or expect long, wind-driven rain, either prep this tent with seam sealer and a smart tarp pitch, or look at a model with a full coverage fly and stronger poles. In conclusion, the Coleman Sundome Dark Room 6-person tent delivers on darkness, setup speed, and roomy floor space, and it does it at a friendly price. It's a fair weather champ and a decent light rain tent once you add seam sealer, but it's not the shelter I trust for a night of sustained wind and heavy rain. If you use it within its lane, it's a comfortable, sleep-friendly home base that's easy to live with. If you need robust, wet, and windy performance out of the box, you'll want something with a full fly and tougher poles. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Coleman Sundome Dark Room 6-person tent.